And you're live. And let's go. Let's put this recording on here. Make sure I get that. And got that one there. Hit that button over there. What's this one here? Hit this one over here. And we good. Good morning, good morning, good morning. This is Katie Hurst coming again for morning show to F up the crime scene. And let's get it in. I had a good night's sleep. Not restless. Only lost one pillow in the bed. With one casualty down, but I sleep with 6 pillows. I know I'm bougie, but that's what I do. So if you haven't listened to the morning show before and everything, I try to cover a few things as we go along. I got my morning clips from Monica, like this and like that. Awesome. That's old school Monica. So if you haven't been on the show before and you're just listening in your car and everything, just make sure you get there safely. A lot of cold weather out there. It's 20 degrees outside here in rural Georgia. Love it. And inside, I open the cabinet doors so the pipes won't bust and all that good stuff. So it is I, your man from Bed-Stuy, coming again for Don't F the Crime Scene Morning Show. And this will be episode season 5, 152. And this morning, I'm going to ask you, have you ever been punked by a dog? Have you, the dog straight punked you out, and before you could get your swag back, before you can get your not the Cali swag, but just get your swag back and get yourself back. What happened? Because doing this job for a long time, you get really lax, really lazy, and we get routine-ish, and sometimes that can hurt. That can hurt you in all types of ways when you go out there. So how do you not fall in routine? And I'm not talking about your first call or stuff like that. Just to go through the rigmarole of doing the job every morning you clock in, or every evening you clock in, not forgetting your paperwork and what have you. But when you get on that one call and, that dog's like this, yeah, I've been waiting for a long time for this. I've been looking for you. And you're like, okay, all right. Are you up to it? What can you do? All the skills, rookies, non-rookies, what skills do you have? What equipment do you have? What do you have in your hand? Are you able to feed the dog with piece of your equipment? I didn't say hit the dog. I didn't say strike the dog. Can you feed it to him? Can you give him your clipboard if it comes at you aggressively? Can you soft talk him? Do you have treats? I'm not a treat guy. Okay. Do you have a ball? If it is elusive and it's like a golden lab, something like that, they like to play fetch all the time. And sometimes I'll have maybe two tennis balls, something like that. And I might throw them and see if they go get it, stuff like that. And they're like, oh, he want to play. Got him. Then I don't throw frisbees or nothing like that, but it is what it is. So have you ever been punked by a dog before, and what does that feel like? Do your butt cheeks clench? Do you have that big gulp? What happens? What really happens? And what should you do, and how do you get past that? How do you gain your composure back? What do you do? I mean, just what do you do about that? Because most times you don't have time, depending on what situation it is. If it's a dog that's semi-aggressive, passive-aggressive, scared, I'm not worried about it. Fear biters, don't really worry about fear biters too much. You just got to go at them extremely slow and give yourself time. Don't rush the capture. Don't rush it. Slower is better. Most times going at the dog sideways, aka blading, and you give them half your body, half the size. When you turn to your side, you become one half of yourself instead of being up front where they see you as this big person, wide person. But when you turn to the left or turn to the right, all right, sound like doing cha-cha slide. But, you have to kind of get a little smaller and use your peripheral and go at the dog. And if you have body cams, y'all see me do this before with dogs and everything, that's semi-aggressive. They give you a little growl or that low, or you're like, you okay, bro? You okay? You all right? And you do your baby talk, and the baby talk don't work. And then you get a little assertive and you give them a command, sit, down, heel. And they looking at you like, bruh, me, habla, Spanish, homie. I don't speak your language. You're like, okay. And it's what type of dog is it? Okay. If they're speaking Espanol, should you know your commands in Espanol? Yeah, you do. But does it work all the time? No. And how do you get past that? How do you get past the butt pucker moment of the dog punking you out and you getting actually scared? I didn't say Larry. You're actually getting scared. What do you do about that? It's already slowed down because your adrenaline's pumping up and everything's moving in slow motion already if the dog's coming at you. And then you're like this, okay, do I run, flight? Do I don't know what to do, freeze, or do I fight? And when I say fight, you use your techniques and how you capture the animals like that. You should always have a thicker leash and not a tail weight leash in your hands or on your body, something like that. So when the dog gets close to you, you can slowly swing it out, touch them with it, and get the dog. Now I've showed this several times with my O-ring, stuff like that. It's hard to do. I'm sitting down. I don't have my equipment with me, but apprehending a dog is quite simple if you give yourself space, the time, and not over push the dog or crowd the dog. When you come on the scene, it's gaining the proper angle of the dog. Don't go straight up at it. Curve yourself a little bit, and you might want to push it somewhere. You might push it into somebody's fenced in backyard, push it on a deck, push it on steps that has rails, and just push it so lightly. You push, and then you say, hey, and the whole time using your voice, hey, boo, come on, hey, the whole way. And the dog might like, okay, but what if you have that one dog? So I got out of animal control, and excuse me, I got out of animal control in 2018 for about, I want to say for almost a year. Now I was still teaching and training, stuff like that. But I didn't have a 9 to 5. And it was different. And I didn't get back into like really animal controlling until about 2020. So when I say about a year, I went somewhere else and shit did not work out. Oh my God. But my skills have diminished a little bit, because if you don't use it, you will lose it. That's a language. That's a skill. If you do not practice your skill, you will lose it. Now, it's not like getting on the bike. It's not. You have to get back into it. Now, language might be a little different. If you knew the language before, you might get it back kind of quick if you just go through it and be around it and submerge yourself in it and immerse yourself in it, you might be okay. But I'm talking about your skills with animal handling, and particularly dogs. Cats is kind of simple, a towel and being nice and be quick to grab a scruff. I know you like to, well, you shouldn't grab a scruff and anything. I'm a scruff grabber because I know it works a good 95%. And after that, I always have my reciprocal open, which is my cage, my transfer cage, or my box, stuff like that. And with cats and everything, if you get a good scruff and everything, stretch them out a little bit and place them. I didn't say yank them, throw them. I didn't say put them. I like to place them in the reciprocal. And after that, cats are fairly simple to apprehend if you go at it slowly, and listen to all the noises they're going to make, okay? Because they're going to talk to you. Cats will talk. Dogs, sometimes they might give you a growl. They might give you a cry. They might give you a big and move back. Y'all know what I'm talking about, all right? When the dog's like, when he opens his mouth and everything, and he's like a cry, but they're moving back, and they start screaming and everything. You didn't touch him. And people like this, oh my God, what's he doing to that dog and everything? I'm not doing anything. That's why using your voice, approaching the animal in a calm, soothing way, the same tone, and you're like, hey, it's okay, soft. Okay. Now some dogs I do command, and I'm not, I wouldn't say stern, but I give them a command voice. Okay. It's like when you talk to your kids, sit. It's very stern. I didn't yell, but it's assertive. Okay. Stay. All right. Just like your kids. Do not act like y'all don't talk to your kids like that. Okay. So it wasn't me. It just wasn't me. Okay. It was y'all too. So what do? So when I came back and when I was ACOing, and that's when I had a Maryland job, and I had to go out there, and I was being FTO'd. I was being FTO'd by, we're going, I got to watch it. I got to watch myself. It was an officer. And this officer was taking me around, stuff like that. And I was trying to get it. But also, I had about a year and a little plus that I have not been using my skills. Have they diminished? A little bit. And as you get older, your reactionary gap, your fast twitch, that shit's gone. As you get older, unless you stay in shape, you're going to get laxed. And the things you thought you could do, you can't do. Please trust me. And I come back to this. I'm coming back, all right? So I was on the court playing my son-in-law when I was 50. Okay. And I still had a little giddy up. All right. Your boy, this is not Duncan. Yeah, I know we talking about that. I still had a little giddy up. We played about 3 games. That first game, yeah. Yes, son. Yeah. I'm the question and the answer, like I have a son. Okay. And I had him a few times. Now remember, he's almost half my age. Okay. I mean, he's close. He's close. So I'm up there like, ha, 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 and he ain't move. And I'm giving it to him. He ain't move. Then I was like, okay. I had to really like back up like, okay, I got to be smarter at this and assert, not my will, but I'm slower. So he's not going for the moves I used to do. So I'm like this, okay. But the thing is, and he'll tell you, okay, me and my son are really good. We're really good friends. Once I slowed it down and I got crafty and I went back to my skill set, I was like, and even my daughter was like, you, all right. And she was videotaping the whole thing. And only thing is, I couldn't finish. Now, y'all, I know. Y'all be like this. I thought you was all world when you was playing ball. That was years ago. Okay, that time has passed, and I got past him several times. But just like I have 6 seconds of old man strength, he got a young makeup speed. He can make that distance. And I mean, I had him a few times. I got him. I was like, ha ha. And I'm going past him, but it was like the little train that could, and I couldn't. I got past him, but I couldn't make the layup half the time because I'm old. And I was like, damn. And we played a few games and everything. I got a few in, but I didn't win near a game. And I'm not shy to say that. I was like this. I was like, and I looked at him like, he's like, yo, good game and everything, because I put in work. I gave it to him. Like he was like this. Okay. He could see how I was possibly before. My daughter's like, oh, no, my dad's all world. He was da-da-da-da-da. He's like, yeah, okay, whatever. I'm going to mop him. He ain't mop me, okay? And he's left-handed, so it kind of threw me off for a second. But anyway, back to this. So went on a call with this other officer, and she was FTOing me. So when you come with a lot of experience and you have a officer with a quarter of your experience, and they're FTOing you, field training officer in you got to put your pride and your ego over here because you're listening. You're the pupil and they're the teacher. Now, for a lot of us, older peeps, that's hard. That shit is hard. I'm going to just be with you. It's hard. Listen to a younger person tell you about your craft that might have changed. It might have changed. It really might have changed now. So you're like, shit. Let me humble myself. Humble. If you stay humble, you won't stumble. Okay. Now, on this particular call, it was 2 Dogo Argentines, okay? It's a big, powerful dog. You always know what I say. If you see a Dogo, don't go. 10-8, let his ass go ahead and go back home. Just joking. But a Dogos are level, we call them on a polar, it's a 5, okay? We go through a polar system later on, stuff like that. But I was like, I saw him, and she's like, and she knew I had skills, but we're talking back. And say I got there I got there February 18th, 2020. Excuse me. February 18th, 2020. And I'm field training in March. So I'm out there doing everything and I'm going everything. And they teach FTON. They don't do a lot of sit down classwork. They might do it now, but back then it was more, you just get in the car and just follow that person, stuff like that. The only thing about FTO, and this is me, and I'm not saying this person was like that, but you're only going to be as good as your FTO. You're only going to be as good as your FTO. If your FTO is awesome, you should follow that. If they are lazy and you're not, you might have a problem. But if you're lazy, you might become lazy because they, if they're sorry, AKA trash, that's not the one you want to be modeled after and stuff like that. I'm just saying, okay? So we get up there and we see the dog was named Achilles. Somehow we knew that already. So it was Achilles and it was a smaller pup. And the pup was playful, bouncing around all around Achilles. And then Achilles was on the property and nobody was in sight. It was not under supervision. So already, first of all, is that a violation? The dog's out by itself on his property, not in the street yet. Okay, on his property, voicing, vocalizing, and people calling because the dog is loose on his property. Is that a violation yet? Depends, right? So I'm like, I was like, so I'm waiting for this officer to get out the car. She said, oh, I think you got this one. So I was like, hold up now. I'm supposed to be following your lead. She, and that person was like this. I'm not gonna say she or he, but she was like, no, I think you got this one. I'll back you up. Now she's gonna back me up. Now you're supposed to be training me, right? So the skill set came in. I was like, I said, okay. So now it was like not so much pucker moment, but I get out and everything, and you go through your M&M, palms are sweaty, mom's spaghetti, all that stuff starts to happen where you're like this, your adrenaline goes up and everything. And I'm like this, because it's been about a year and a quarter since I've used my skills. I mean, really. So I get out, I'm like, okay, yeah, got this. And I'm talking myself through it in my brain. Now I've seen officers in gun battles where they talk to themselves I guess because of their flight risk or because the mechanics stop and their OODA loop just totally, shuts down and they're telling themselves to shoot and, and they trying to call for help and everything. And that's a horrible situation to be in. Horrible situation. And I'm like this, and I'm going through my OODA loop and everything. I've done this 1,000 times before. I'm like, I got him. So I'm waiting, and then the dog steps off of its property and steps into the street. Oh, there's your violation. If it wasn't before, the dog went over here and came in the street, well, he's at large now, okay? Or failed restraint or whatever, violation you'll have. So he goes back over there, and he's pouncing. He's bumping out his chest and everything, and he's 120. I mean, he looks like he's been working out. I look 6 feet. He's like, yeah. And his ears are cropped and everything. I'm like this. I'm looking at him. He's like, yeah. And you hear that humble. You're like, God damn, but we about to do this. So I'm out there. So I see my catch pole and everything. I get my small catch pole, but I always have my leash and I have my O-ring. Another story, another time. So I really use my catch pole unless I have to. Not saying it's good, bad. It's just a piece of equipment. So I'm over here looking at him like this, and this dog is like this. But the only thing is, when I approached, he backed up. Done. When I approached, he backed up. Done. And if you ever rode with me, or if I ever rode with you, what's one thing I don't do? I don't back up. Not saying you don't, or you do, or well, I don't know what y'all doing, but I do not back up. I don't back up. Okay, especially one dog. If it's 2 dogs, I get to a flat fence, I get to a wall, stuff like that, and then I go to work. Okay, but because the damn animals can't get behind you when you're on a flat surface, something flat behind you. Okay, skills. So I'm up there pushing, and I start to pushing back, and other puppy is bouncing around wanting to play, but I'm totally tunnel vision now. You got to be careful of that. I'm zero locked in on this dog, and I'm pushing him back, and he gets back up on the porch and everything. I push him, and the porch has a corner. I'm like this, okay, cool. I'm pushing over here, and now I'm trying to talk to him with the leash and everything. I have the leash over here, I have my catch pole over here. So if you're not ambidextrous with your catch pole or your leash, you should be. You should be able to control it in either hand and work it in either hand, because it works to your advantage. So I usually use my leash with my left hand. Okay, I usually get them like that, and that's not my dominant hand. And the catch pole, I use it my right. I wheel with the front and hold with the back and pull with my pull a string with my right hand. Okay, so I'm up there pushing, and he's vocalizing. He ain't start peeing himself yet, but because all that, I am him. That shit ain't there no more. Okay, I'm like, whatever, son. It's Slim Shady. It's a real one here. You know what I'm saying? But I was like, okay. And I pushed him, trying to put the leash on her. He wasn't going for it. So then I used catch pole, and I used the leash to distract him a little bit, looped him a catch pole, pulled back, and just talked to him. He bucked up for a second, and after he's like, shit, I'm caught. Once they know they're caught, now it's like this. Is there a fight to get to the truck? How far is the truck? And the distraction, which is a little puppy, my coworker got that little one, which was good because that's the distraction. We're not worried about that, but it could trip you up. It could be playing for you, and you can take your eyes off the main prize. Okay. So I said, okay, got him. And after that, once Achilles, and his name was Achilles, I said, hey, come on. He's like, okay, let's go. Getting me into the truck, that is a different, they have classes on how to proper load an animal up. Yeah, okay. Depending on your height, what the species is, how big your compartment is, do you have a ramp? Can you lift? Okay, if you get it started, will it go ahead with it? That is subjective. Okay, how do you lift this big dog? Do you have help? Are you going to call other people? Can you get a, do you have help to get a blanket or a towel to lift the dog from the rear? Okay. Or can you, what's the thing? Suitcase them. Okay. Can you wrap them up, put them over here, lift them up? Do you have the strength to lift a 120-pound animal that's moving? Okay. It's not, or do you have a dog that with dead weight, just he's not going to move? So when they say proper uses of lifting like that, and don't get me wrong, I hear and I hear people promote something like this, and I hear people like this. Oh, you just do this, you don't do it. Okay, let me see you do it. No bullshit. Let me see you do it. It's different when they're talking about, well, this is what you do every time. Let me see you do it physically. Let me see you lift a St. Bernard and put him in that truck. Let me see you do it. All right. Shit's different because we can't practice. And me and Dustin talk about with animal handling and tactical animal handling. You can't practice the camel throw. And y'all know what the camel throw is. If you watch wrestling, Dusty Rhodes like that, you get the dog and everything, swing him around and you throw his ass in the truck. Okay. You're not supposed to camel throw and all that stuff like that. Okay. Sometimes you're like this. Well, how am I going to get him in the truck? And this, you have to size this up before you get out the truck. Like, okay, if I get him, do you have your animal control door open? Do you have the ramp out? Have you done this already? Because it's hard to do when you're holding a 120-pound doggo and you have to do it by yourself with one hand. How are you going to secure him? Are you going to tie him up and then do it? So, it's a lot of preparation when you get out the vehicle. Are you going to apprehend them? Are you going to return them owner? It's a whole bunch to go. But sometimes you have to prepare the vehicle for the dog. I mean, it's just that simple. And everyone's like, well, I can call backup. What if you're the only person? What if you're the only person and you don't have backup? All right. So again, if you feel leery about something, scared about something, you can fight through that. Depending on your skill set and how you go at it. Can you talk the animal down? Can you calm them down? Can you make it more volatile sometime? But, like say, sit more, like yelling at dog, don't do that. All right. Try to be as calm as possible. You don't have to match energy. All right. You want to, again, de-escalate the person, de-escalate the dog. All right. At all times, if possible. Now, do you have to go, if it's tactical, I don't have time to do a lot of shit. I see dog, I restrain dog. That's it. Okay. I just don't have time. If it's a tactical situation, SWAT situation, EMS, fire, stuff like that, rescue, stuff like that, I don't have time to like, hey, I don't have time to do, do the talk. I'm like this, we're fluffy. Hey, buddy, hey, got him. I don't have time. But if you have time, and most of the time we have 10 hours in a day, 8 hours a day, you have time. That means go at it what? Slow. Right? So that we spoke about, have you ever been punked? What do you do? How do you go through the adversity of that? Because remember, the dog will look at you like, if he's going to be, no, if you buck, boy, if he comes out with that, like, do you feel lucky? Do you punk? What do you do with that? Because the dog can smell your pheromones. The dog's like, oh, that's you. Okay. You punk. And can that be a problem? Yeah, it can. It really can. Okay. And again, you need to hold on to your, not core values, to your training. Okay. You need to go back and not black out. You don't want to freeze. Okay. You're into fight mode, fight for, for us using skills and not fight the dog. Okay. And not flight, run away. Now, don't get me wrong. Is there time to run away from a dog? That's possibly. I don't know what that is. And this is no bravado. This is no ego. When you call ACO, animal control, police, whatever like that, and we show up, we're there to handle business. So if you get punked by the dog, and I've seen this, and we can do reaction videos later, I've seen people get punked by the dog. Now it's dogs like this, like, give me somebody else. Give me somebody else. And then the problem is, now if you use a team, you need to talk. If you use a team method, 2, you don't need 3 people most time, about 2 people, and block it off. We enforce the animal into a corridor and a corner in a small space where the dog has to what? Back up, and almost give up. Okay. And once they give up, most of them don't really fight no more. I mean, alligator roll, here and there, but again, rotate your poles, stuff like that, so you don't asphyxiate them. Okay. All right. That was our talk for today. Please subscribe. I got one sponsoring earlier. Let's get sponsoring real quick. Tomahawk Traps, Tomahawk Traps. You can go to www.livetrap.com. That's www.livetrap.com. DFUTCS.com, and you can get 10% off if you use my submitter code SDCHEARST. Get 10% off, or keep it humane, 10% off. And Kyle and everybody at Tomahawks, great people. And that's going to be our show for today. I think we got 24 minutes, went over a little bit. All right, guys, I'll talk to you later. I'm going to end the stream right here. Stop, and stop. All right, let's turn that off.